KZ Guy 2 here, No Nonsense Know How, and today I want to bring you an ultra quick guide on how to replace the water pump and belt in this 2011 Jeep Liberty that has a 3.7 liter. Got our new water pump here and a belt. I'll make sure to plug in any tools and parts that I use in this video down below, so check that out. If there's any corrections, I'll also put those in the description. And make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, and maybe subscribe if it helps you out, because that helps me out. This is going to be pretty fast paced and I might go a little too quick for you, but it should include everything you need to know on how to replace the water pump in this. If this carries over to your different year and model, like say you have a Patriot with a 3.7, I don't think that even exists, but if you do, make sure to comment down below and let me know that so I can update the tags and description to help out other people. Here we go. Begin by getting yourself a drain pan and then come to the driver's side, bottom of the radiator here, and crack your petcock loose. Sometimes these can be tight, you might need pliers. Get that radiator draining. And after that's been draining for a minute, system's depressurized and not hot, you can remove your radiator cap by turning it, pushing down, and removing that to assist in the drainage. Next, get this washer and coolant recovery tank out of your way. It's going to be held on with 4 T25 Torx. I'm using my 1/4-inch Milwaukee ratchet, T25 Torx bit, and then remove this hose off the radiator here. The 4 screws are right here, here, and one that's real hard to get to down below on that corner, and also one down below right behind the horn here. The driver's side bottom bolt was a little tight to get to, so I've removed the battery as well. 10mm nuts on those battery connections, and then a 10mm bolt holding that on the clamp on the bottom. Then take this whole tank up. You shouldn't even have to take the connections off on this side, as long as you have enough play, and just rotate it over out of your way. You can see plenty of room play in those hoses there to be able to do that. Next, we got to get the electric fan assembly and shroud out of our way. If you happen to have a model that has the mechanical fan, you can use a kit like this with an air hammer, or I'm not sure what size it would be, but you can use a fan clutch set like this one here. Of course, this one has the electric fan though, so 8mm bolt right here and right here, and then you got one 8mm. Sorry about this camera angle. I'll show you when I get it off, but holding those hoses down on the bottom. And then one electrical connector, a little tough to get to. It doesn't just slide right off like that. You do have to push this in right here and slide that off, and then you should be able to get this whole fan assembly out of here. That lower bolt I was talking about threads right onto there, 8mm, and the passenger side just has a little piece here that slips over a clamp mounted on the radiator. At this point, before removing your belt, it's a good idea to draw a diagram of it. You can see this belt actually already flew off, and you can see why. The bearing completely shot on this water pump. You can actually see pieces of the bearing right there, so that was a catastrophic failure. But in case you don't know how the belt goes on, here's a diagram I printed out for you if you want to pause that and take a look. And so once you got a diagram drawn to remove your belt, it's a 15mm on this nut right here. Turn that clockwise and that'll loosen the tension. It's a good idea once your belt's off to spin all the pulleys. Make sure they all freewheel. If they make any noise, good idea to replace your tensioner or idler. And check your alternator, make sure there's not any pebbles or debris caught up in any of these pulleys. Check them all out. Now take a 15mm socket and remove your idler pulley. Then remove the 8 13mm bolts holding this pump in place. There's only 2 different sizes, so you can't really mix those up. It does look like on the longer ones there was a thread sealant on there, so as a precaution when I put these back on, I'll put some thread sealant on these. You can see this thing has completely failed. Alright, next I came in here with a wire wheel, and you got to go lightly on this. You don't want to damage the aluminum, but clean that up and get any foreign debris out of here. It's a great idea to take your hoses off and flush all this out, but this customer didn't want any coolant flush or anything, so we're just putting this pump in bare minimum. And then clean the surface off with alcohol or acetone or something equivalent. Now if you see pitting like this right here, that's not good, because the way this new pump is going to seal is with the O-ring here, rubber O-ring, and if you got pitting on that block, that might not seal very good. So just like in many of my videos, I like to use Permatex The Right Stuff. It's the best silicone you'll ever find, and do a light bead around the whole entire thing. Don't be afraid to get it on the O-ring, it's okay. Just put a whole bead of The Right Stuff around that whole thing. And while it is a good idea to let this stuff cure overnight after torquing everything down, you don't actually have to. This is torque and go, they say, and I've never had a problem. Now, if your block doesn't have any corrosion at all, and you don't want to use the silicone, I at least recommend using a little bit of oil or light grease and rubbing that on the new O-ring. But you can see what happens over time. These O-rings get flattened out, and then they just start seeping out there. So I like using the right stuff. And then we're ready to bolt that pump back on. After you get a couple bolts tightened down, and this is sitting flush on the block, make sure it spins freely and doesn't bind up or anything like that. And then bolt your idler pulley back on. All right, now reinstall your belt. It's a good idea to replace the belt at this time. All right, got everything back together. Make sure you double check all your work. You got everything hooked up properly, everything that you took off. Tighten your petcock on the bottom of the radiator. And you're ready to fill it up. I like to use these Lyle funnel kits. This is a universal funnel kit for many different makes, models, and vehicles. I'll plug in another video if you're not familiar how to use this, but it works great, saves a lot of time and mess. So with the proper adapter on there, you could just set that funnel on there, fill it up, no leaks or mess. And then to assist in the flow, take an 8mm socket and remove or loosen this plug right here to break the air gap. Basically, it's a ventilation plug. Now mine is actually seized solid in there, and I don't want to risk stripping or breaking it, so I'm going to just take this clamp off here and crack this upper hose loose to break the air gap and assist with, because you can see right now it's airlocked and the coolant's not passing into here. And all I did was slide this clamp back and then stick a flat blade screwdriver in here, and if you put it all the way in there, listen, you can hear all the air escaping and the fluid level will drop in here. All right, once all the air stops coming out and it starts shooting coolant out like that, you're ready to button this thing back up and start her up. And the last and final step is to make sure we get all the air out of the cooling system. So I like to wedge something on the gas pedal, get the RPMs up above 2,000, turn the heater fan on high, on hot, and make sure you get hot heat out of this thing, ensuring that there's no air pockets in the heater core. And of course we got our funnel buddy on here, so all the air bubbles will come out of there just like that, and no mess or anything. All right, and once your rad fan's kicked on, all the air bubbles came out of your funnel buddy, you can plug that, remove the funnel buddy, and install your radiator cap. Great idea to replace the radiator cap at this time if you already have it off, and then top your coolant recovery tank off, and you're done. Alrighty, and that's gonna wrap it up. Hopefully I didn't go too quick for you or miss anything. If there are any updates for you, I'll put those in the description, and anything I use in this video, I'll make sure to plug those links in down below as well. If you have any feedback or suggestions for me or this job, definitely I appreciate the comments down below. And if the video helped you out, please give it a thumbs up. Consider checking out my channel or toss me a subscribe. Greatly appreciate all that kind of support. Until next time, this is KZ Guy 2 here, No Nonsense Know How. You keep on wrenching and getting things done, enjoying yourself, and I'll see you next time.